Hello, welcome back. This is what the music sounds like when I start recording, start the game, then get distracted for a while, and we start in the middle of the music track. Speaking of music, let's change it up a little bit. I want to see, is there any way I can... So I can go to shuffle here. Can I, like, whitelist or blacklist tracks or anything? Doesn't look like it. So it's either shuffle everything and risk getting very distracting boss music, or have the default music, or just choose one track on repeat. Where would I like to go today? I mean, that one's very nice, but I've kind of already done that. Let's go to the mountains. And maybe if I remember, I'll change each puzzle. Alright, so I somehow managed to do 2 F-column puzzles last time, and yeah, just everything's going great. 77. No symmetry, not vertically either. 11 wide, 12 tall. Okay. This looks like it might... Yep, that has some. This looks like it might not. Correct, it does not. Alright, 8. It's 11 wide, so that's this much. Okay. 7 and 1. That's 2. Okay. Yeah. 2, 2, 3, 3, 5, 2, 1. Alright, columns. So starting columns, this could be 4 or 1. This is definitely a 2. I don't know which one, but it's a 2. That's definitely a 2. Therefore, there's definitely a 1 down here. It's definitely the second 2. 1, 2, 1, space, 1, 2, space, 1. That makes that an exact fit. Okay. Yeah, so wiggle room is only 1 in that column. This could be the 4. It has to be the 4 this way. There's no other way for that to fit. Because if I try to go down here, there's no room for the 1. So I know where the 4 is. Cool. This also has to be the 4. That way. Cool. This one has no such requirement. Now, that 4 in that row is capped off. However, yes, I do know it's the 4 because there's no room for the 2. Okay. This 6 is not centered anymore, which means it can't reach this far over. Could it ever have? Wait, how is... No, okay, this was the new one, which shifted it left, which made that X happen. Okay, everything makes sense. Don't know what that is. Okay, so let's flood fill outward from anything that looks promising, with any kind of conclusions I can draw. Like these X's are helping me. Doing column stuff. Also, this column is... Right, everything above there is done. Right, and now this 4 has a lot more constraints on it. Interacting with this columns 4 and putting that in. That's that 2 in that column. I know that this is part of the 4, which can't reach that far up. What else do I know? Hang on. 1, 2, 3, 4, space 1. I know that that's an exact fit. And also this is. And this whole column was. Okay. Didn't notice. Alright, other things that are happening. This row is done. This has the 2, so therefore the row can be done. This row is done. That's nice. I think I know what I'm looking at. I'll wait till it's complete to be sure, but I have a strong suspicion. 6 can't reach that far over. 4 is done, 2 is not, 8 is as it is. Okay, what am I looking at? So this starts with 4, yeah, sure. Do I know this? Yes, it has to be. Starts with 3, okay, sure. 2s can't go there. This 2 has exactly 2 places to go, but I don't know which. Okay, so now what? Well, this 5 has one of its cells input, which means all of those things. However, does that help me? A think I constrains this enough to input one more thing, I think. No, it's as input as it's gonna get. Where is there space to make more conclusions? Well, what about this column? This has only wiggle room of 1, so I know this. And if this is definitely part of a 2, then I know this, and that, and that, and that. Okay. Because, yeah, the 2's wiggle room would have put it in the other cell? Yeah, here. But since it was this one, I knew the whole thing. Okay, cool. So that's helped me. That's 8 already, right? Yes, okay. Those can both go in. That's that 2, which means this is where the 1 is, in that column. That 3 can't reach over, so I know this 2 now. So since wiggle room's reduced... Oh wait, hang on, but I have this. Yeah, wiggle room reduction didn't matter there. Because there was way too much anyway. Right, so I know these things in that row. I know this in this row, and I know the whole row, actually. I know this 1, so I know that 2. But I don't know the other one. Alright, what needs to resolve? This 4 and the 1 still could be either way around. No, it couldn't. It has to be this way around, because there's no room otherwise. That's that 2. That's this 2. That's that 1. Here's the 5. So then I just have to make this 3, which is like that. So there we go. Yeah, so swimming capybara with fruit on head is what I've been told that represents. I would not have guessed. 78. Oh, hold on. Alright, so that was enough snow dungeon. Let's be in the power plant for a moment. That shouldn't be too distracting. Shame it scrolls me all the way to the top of the list every time I do that. 10 by 10. No symmetry either axis. At least not enough to do anything with. Wiggle room is 1 in this row. Wiggle room's too much in that row to do anything. What's 3 and 4 look like? Looks like 2. Okay. 2 wiggle, that is. 3 and 2 isn't enough. Okay, so columns 4 and 3, right? That's 2 I happen to know. Yeah, music's a little more distracting than I wanted. That's okay. I can deal with it. Okay, so I think that's all I can initially input, so now we gotta look at some dependencies. This is part of the 4, sure, that's part of the 3, sure, but that doesn't tell me anything new. This is part of that 3, so I can input that there in that row. If that's 4 and that's 3, then that's all I know so far. Okay, this column ends a 3, yeah, so what? Could this be 1, 2, space 1, space 1? It certainly could. Yeah, kind of a lack of information here. Not much in the way of things to go on. Alright, how much wiggle is this? 2, so therefore I can input this. Okay, that helps a bit, so I know this is the 3. So there's a 1 up here somewhere in one of these 2. Okay, but that's all it does. Alright, anything else I can do with that? Alright, so what about this column? No, I mean, that's already input. If it wasn't, I could do the same thing. I think we have diagonal symmetry, actually. No. No. If we did, then there'd be a 5 in one of these columns. Never mind. This would be the one. So not quite diagonal symmetry. Alright. 1 in that row. 3 and 4. 1, 2, 3, space. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, space. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, so this is the point where I'm going to reread what I know. And see if I've made any omissions of, like, information I can have. Not there. 1, space, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, space, 1. 1, 1, 2, 3, space, 1. Yep, already done it. 2, yeah. Can't conclude anything, can't conclude anything, can't conclude anything. 1, 2, 3, space, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, space, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So this column's very similar to this row. Again, it's almost diagonal symmetry. 2, 1, 1. Still don't know. 1 space, 1 space, 1, 2. It could be. 1 space, 1, 2, 3. Alright, well, at least I know that this one has unavoidable wiggle room down here. Same up here. No, not same up here. 1 space, 1, 2, 3. Okay. But that doesn't tell me anything. Doesn't tell me anything. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, space 1. Doesn't tell me anything. And there's no information here, no information here. Alright, so now I need to try to apply one of my advanced rules. So, do I have enough information to do that? Okay, let's start with, do I know this is part of a 3? Yes, I do. If I know that, then can I interact with the 1s on either end using one of these rows? Alright, so this 5 here. This 5 with some other things. I mean, what could I do with that, really? Alright, so this row has exactly 1 wiggle room. Maybe I can do something with that. I wasn't seeing anything I could do with the 5s. So if the row has 1, that means one of these two is definitely active, but the other is not. Okay, but I can't do anything with that. Same with you, but I can't do anything with that. Alright, yeah, so what interacts? How do I find interactions? How closely have I looked at these? I mean, as close as I can, right? This is part of a 3. 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 Does that tell me something? Okay, this row is a 1 on its own. Only one thing comes all the way down here. Everything else does not. So that does tell me something about these 3s. Ah, that tells me nothing, actually. Because it could be neither of the 3s. Could it? No. Okay, here we go, here we go. Found an interaction. Because of this row requiring exactly one thing in it, there are 2 3s that may wish to extend that far down. Then, immediately above, this starts with 1, 2. There is a valid formation here. An invalid formation, however. Okay, there is one in... Yes, okay. So, 4 from the bottom interacts with the bottom row. An invalid formation would be this, because that would create something that is not a 1 at the start of this row. This is a valid formation. This is a valid formation. Like, okay, so that's valid as far as... Ah, but that's invalid down here. Yeah, so this is invalid. This is invalid. So it's either this, oops, or this. I remember where I was. I was here. So yeah, it's either this or this. Because it is one of those two, that means this is always active. Okay. So that was the conclusion I was able to draw from that. One more cell there. Does that help me? Alright, so we got binary choice here, and whichever it is not in the equivalent place. Ah, but the other thing that tells me is that these are all x's. There we go. Okay, yeah, so if I have a binary choice between 2 in a row or column that is a single number, then I can input x's. Okay, so that's helping me. Here's this 2. Okay, so I feel like I actually did some good work in finding that. Here's that 1. Okay, doesn't resolve this wiggle, but it is another thing to input. Alright, so what does resolve here? If I know it's one or the other, I mean, it could be one here and two there, and one here, and the rest of this is X. Or it could be one here, the two anywhere, like here for example, and then this is on. So either of those is still possible. By the way, this is a 2 in this row. Here we go, that helps a bit. Okay, so that interacts with this 2, putting that down. Does that interact with this 1? No. 1 space 1, 2, 3 space 1 still fits to the left, so I don't know it's here. Although the 5 gained an X, so I do know that. Here we go. So the trailing 2 on that, the trailing 1 on that. 3 still has its same amount of wiggle, but I know all this. Okay, so this column got the 3. And that's that done. I know that the 1 takes up this entire space, basically. The 2 in this column is here, because you couldn't have a 2 and a 1 in a space of 3. Okay. That also tells me things about this 5. That in particular, and this. Tells me things about this 2. Well, one thing. Tells me things about this 5. Here we go. Okay. Yep, so just seems like all these places that I've had to find such a dependency, now that I'm primed to look at it, look for it, I'm finding it easier to actually apply that rule. And in every puzzle where I've had to do it, which this is what, the second one? And I haven't even finished it yet, but I'm making the declaration. Every place where I've had to do that so far has meant that... Whoa, I don't know that. Yes, I do. I know this now, because I know where the 2 is, and I know one of these is true. Yeah, every place where I've had to do that... Hey, check it out, actually using this symbol. Has only required one such conclusion in the entire puzzle, and then the rest just falls into place. This X let me place that. And if that X let me place that, I still don't know the rest. Okay. So this column's done, and that finishes my 4, and this row, great. Here in this column, I know this is a 1, and I know it's the first one. So, whoops, those are those things. That 5 is done, which could have happened a moment ago, actually. Okay. 3, 9. So yeah, still don't have resolution in this area of uncertainty. Are we about to? Not yet. Oh, there was a 1 column on the very left that I wasn't really looking at. Maybe that could have gotten me some sort of conclusion on something. I know this. I strongly suspect that, but suspicion is not enough. Now, this is now an exact fit, so I know that. Which means my suspicion was correct. Okay, this is a 4. That's a 1 there. So the way that resolves, then, is this. There we go. Okay, neat. It's a magnifying glass. Alright. That was fun. Okay, good one. That's probably acceptable. Sure. Why you gotta scroll to the top? Just go where the scroll position already is. That'd be nice. 10 by 15. Okay. No symmetry either way. Alright, what does 3, 3, 1, 1 look like? A ton of wiggle room, that's what. Don't go column first, go row first. What am I even doing? Okay, I'm trying. And I got 1. Okay. So by the same token I can just do that. You, however, are a lot less wiggly. That's not the way. That's the way. Oops. Okay. I think eventually I did that all right. Alright, that's 2. I mean, sorry, 1. 2, 2, 1, 1 is that something? I think it is. Yeah, oh, yes. I'm getting so clumsy, but like, I know what I mean, and that's the important part. Okay, well, I put down a couple of things. Cool. None of them are particularly close to top or bottom edge, and the entire bottom half is blank. This column has only 2 in it. So I may be able to use that for such logic as I did in the last puzzle. 5, 2. Well, I know this is part of the 5. Okay, but that's all I know. 1, 4, 2, 3. Okay, that only has 2 wiggle rooms, so let's, and a couple of cells are input, so that's going to complicate things. So 1, 2, 3, space, 1, 2, space, 1, 2, 3, 4, space, 1. So that's what that looks like. 1, space, 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is the one that I know, because that's part of the 4. Can't be space. Okay, so now wiggle room reduces a bit, because I know this is the 4. If I know that's the 4, then just evaluate from here down. So, I'm gonna redo all this. If it's 1, 2, 3, 4, space, 1, 2, space, 1, 2, 3, then I can fill those in. There we go. Okay? What do you look like? You have a lot of numbers in you. Is this an exact fit? No, but it has only 1 wiggle. Okay. 2 on 1 on 2 doesn't tell me much. Could this... Space 1, space 1, space 1, space 1, 2. Yes, it certainly could. If this starts with 3, it could be either this way... here, let me put that like that. Could be either this way, or this way, and I don't know which. But I know at least 1, 3... comes down that far, but there's not enough to work with to make any other conclusions. This sounds like an exact fit. It's not, but it's close enough to input a bunch of stuff. 2 on 1 on 1, don't know. 1, 2, space 1, space 1, space 1, space 1. Yeah, I do not know. Okay, if this starts with a 2, I know that's an X, so I know that's an X by the row. If that's then a 3, then I know that's the that's not a 3. That's a 2. That's a 3. There we go. Okay. Stop myself from making a mistake. It's easy to accidentally almost do. 3, 1, 1, don't know anything, but I have a bunch of other stuff going on now, so let's look at rows again. This is the 3, so the 1 is over here somewhere. 1, so one of the ones is here. That's what I know. Therefore, this 3, I could have gotten there another way, but that's the way I got there. 2, 3, you're done, great. 3... Yes, it has to be this. Whoops, there. Here's my 1, there's my 2, and here's part of my 3. This has to be part of the 4, but I already knew that. Okay, in this column, nothing much. Yeah, so I haven't interacted with much down here. I do know that that's an X, at least. Do I know any similar things? I know that, because those are all 1s. I know this, because that's a 4. Down at the bottom of this column, I don't know much of anything. Don't I know something, though? If this is... No, I've already evaluated that as well as I can. If this is a 3, then there's a bunch of X's to put in. If that's a 5, then I do this and that and that. Okay. What else do I know? I know that that's a 4, so that's X's. So checking columns, any large numbers down toward the bottom. None that I can do anything with. Okay. So this is ends with a 1. This 3 is capped, that's a 2. So there's my 3, and there's a 1. Great, okay. Good stuff. Yeah, so as soon as this was input, that resolved that entire column. Regardless of what was already in it. Like, I needed literally just this, and it would do the whole thing. Alright, so with that column resolved... That means I input some of these, like that for example, and this still doesn't tell me anything. I see this column starts with a 2. I see this one starts with a 3, which has to be that. Then 1 and 2. This has to be the 2 and this has to be the last 1. Okay. So binary choice here, but I'm not inputting it that way because I don't need to yet. Yeah, columns suddenly look a lot more fruitful, so I'm focusing on them right now. Binary choice, but I'm not inputting it that way because I use that symbol for other things. This one has to go here. These are X's. 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 is like that. One of these is, yeah, so binary choice here. Don't know which way though. That's the 4, that's the 2, that's the 3. So this is the 3 in that row. This is the 2 in that row, somewhere in there. That's a 2, which means this is an X. That's a 2, which means this is an X, which means this column's done. That's a 1, so that's an X. This is a 2, so those are both X's. Which means this fits exactly. That's a, whoops, that's a 1. This is not part of the 5, so I know where the 3 is. This 5 is done. Meaning this column's done. Great. So that row resolves. I know that's the 4, so there's the 1. This is the 5 now. Here are the 1s. In this column it's a 1, so the 2 is there. This is a zombie? Maybe? Column done. Still some choices to make there, but this one tells me about the rest of it. Great. Yep, zombie. Alright. Gonna dare to do one more. That's secret dungeon music, I think. Okay, sure. That'll do fine. 80! Big one, 15 by 15, but it's got some 0 columns. Oh, I'm seeing small numbers of numbers in the columns. However, this is enough to input, what is it, that much, I think? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, yes. Alright, other big numbers. The 7 is not big enough. I would need an 8 for anything at all. Okay, yeah, so the 0 columns do help constrain things a lot. So this 4 is like that, the 3 is like this. Be careful about making such conclusions. But here it's safe, because the partitions do ensure that all 3 of these must be separated. See, here it could be 1, 2, 3, space 1, and the 3 could be here, so I cannot make the same conclusion about this row as I made about that one. Therefore, nothing can yet be input here, I'm pretty sure. 3, 2, 2, though, I can do stuff with. One thing, at least. 2, 2, 1, 2, 1, 1, 3. So 2, 1 could fit here, or this could be the 2. Could be the 1s here. Regardless, there's no way the 3 is anywhere except the rightmost column. Similarly, this is definitely the leading 3. This is definitely leading 4, of course. For this, I do not know. Don't know. Don't know. Don't know. No knowledge, no knowledge, no knowledge, no knowledge. It is a 1 at an edge, which can do things for me. Alright, so, what columns have I interacted with? That's pretty good. Oh, that cuts off a lot of stuff. Cool. So this starts at 7, which looks like this. The 4 can actually input 1. This is joined to my 11, which is like that now. Great. So going back to rows that have been interacted with, the leading 3s are all established. So is this 2? Okay. Great. What else do I know? Still don't know if this is a 2 or a 1. Same with you, same with you. Well, I know you are A2. So there's only one over to the right here. I know there's not one here. Okay, so that's all I can do with that as far as I can currently see. What about these columns? That starts with 7, so that's very informative. Whoops, don't go too far. This starts with 5, so that's informative. Okay. Rows that were interacted with. This trailing 2. Is that it? Yeah. Maybe. Hang on, what about you? Yeah, no, I still don't know for sure. You could be either. Okay. Are there some middles I can fill in here? No. No. Okay, so I put down a bunch of X's down here. Does that do anything at all? I can X this. Which doesn't really help me much. Oh boy, I stepped into a doozy. Hang on, did this X tell me something about this row? No, because this could be the one if the rest could fit to the left of it. 1, 2, space, 1. No, it could not. So I know this is the 2, because, so if it were 1, space, 1, 2, space, 1, space, 1, space, 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 3, that would all fit. But if it were space, space, 1, space, space, 1, 2, space, 1, then that other 1 has nowhere to go. So I know this is the 2. Oops, this way. So that's interacted with this column, kinda, but I don't know which this is or where it goes. This column, though, that one has a bunch I can put in. Cool. Alright, and that's interacted with a bunch of rows. I know that's the 2, so the 1 is here. I know that's the 1, so there's nothing here. I know that... I don't know. I do know because there's... Hang on, right. Yeah, so this one has only 2 numbers in it. This one has 3, so this still could be the 2. This, however, already has the 2 allocated, so this happens. Similarly with you. Good. And what's up with you? You're the 3. Resolves the column, resolves that 1. Nice. Man, this highlight is really good. There's like a hypothetical version of this that doesn't automatically highlight when I've fulfilled a constraint, and it is less pleasant to play. I'm very glad that that is as it is. This still could be either 3 or 2. You are done. Good. Oops. Ooh. So if I'm holding my X and I roll over a one of these, it will replace it. If I'm using this symbol, oh, it'll also do it. Okay, so undo those. If I'm placing, I erase X's. If I'm placing this, I erase X's. How is it? But if I'm erasing a particular type of symbol and I keep dragging to something else, it will only erase that symbol, not others. Okay. I know this is a 2. And I know that's the 3, so I know those rows are done. Hey. That's a lot of stuff. Can I do anything with these center columns yet? I can do this and this and this. Still too much wiggle for anything else up here. Okay, so I can do this because of the column, hence the 4, so I know the 4 is in here. I don't know the 1 isn't. It could be. You end with a 4, therefore those are true. Which means that 2 is done and that 2 is done, which means this 4 is done, which means the 1 is done. Affects that 4. Oh, by the way, this 3 is kept, and has been for a bit. Okay, great, so I know this column. Alright, yeah, large as this is, it's resolving, but like this big basin in the middle is sticking around. Yeah, I know all those things. So this is 4 is already done, this 3 is already done. This is a 2, so that resolves the 1 here, and this column. This 4 resolves that row. Okay, what about the basin? Well, it's just like a little sub-puzzle that's not interacted with anything else. Alright, so now solve a 4x9. Alright, so 4x9. Well, these are all zeros for one thing. Alright, so now solve a 6x9. Sorry, 4x6. Ones, 2, 1, 2, 2, nothing. You, however, you have wiggle room of 1, so do this. You have this. So that starts my 2 here and does that. Interacts with the 4 here, which means this is a 1, that's that 2, that's that 2. This is part of the 2, which means that 2 is here. This is that 2, that's that done. That's the 2 here. 4 is done. So the last one is here. Okay. What am I looking at? Is it like a flame or something? A tree trunk? What even is that? It's like roots or something. Or it could be like tattered cloth hanging down? I don't know. Take a guess. I don't know what this is. Alright, cool. So, yeah, these were a little bit more of a challenge. I'm glad I got the chance to apply the dependency rule. I guess that's what I'll call it. They're all dependency rules, but you know, the cross-row column dependency rule. Again, no catchy name for it, but that thing. Alright, see you next time for, what was it, F... Whoa, music, what are you doing? Music does not know what it's doing now. It just stopped. Anyway, F16, next time. Yeah, you're on this, so that just breaks it to go back and then here? Weird. Is that always? Huh! How strange. So anything that's not the default? Well, probably if it was the title screen music, it'd be fine. No, that's a separate instance of that music. I think I found a bug. Alright, it's a minor one. Anyway, next time F16 was it? 16, yes.